So, good evening and welcome everyone. Today, as usual, we have our audience joining us on Zoom and Facebook Live from Hong Kong and from all around the world for Naveda's 80 is the New 50 webinar panel discussion number 19. So, we've actually hit 5 months today. What an achievement, consistent achievement. So I am Veena Dansingani, founder, director, and alopecia hair loss specialist of Naveda Integral Wellness Center in Hong Kong, which is the first value-based integral wellness center offering a transformative health experience to its clients. So Naveda launched a very powerful and meaningful campaign called 80 is the New 50 panel discussion on the 21st of January 2021, a campaign which was inspired by our director, Mr. Lal Darinani, who turned 80, or should I say the new 50, on the 15th of April 2021. It really takes something to be happy, healthy, active, and purposeful at his age. Anyone who knows Mr. Lal can see that he is very motivated and positively and joyfully engaged in life with all people that he comes across, whether it is babies, children, adults, young adults, seniors, and anyone possible. He has a childlike curiosity to learn new things in life and thrives very well amongst it. As we see that life expectancy has increased and we are seeing more and more people living up to the ages of 80 and 90, thanks to the advances of healthcare these days. It allows people to live longer, but does it allow people to have that kind of a quality? Or what are people really doing to have a quality life when they reach up to a certain age? We do see that with age, people tend to develop physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual challenges. We've commonly seen people with dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, osteoporosis, arthritis, heart diseases, obesity, depression, loneliness, loss of purpose, joy, passion, or even a drive to live anymore. So today, Naveda has invited 3 panel guests, and I'd like to invite and introduce all of them. First of all, we have Mr. Bob Kripalani, who is the owner and founder of Bob Electronics in Hong Kong and has been in Hong Kong since 1969, which is 52 years. He is associated with the Happy Valley Hindu Temple and also the Hindu Association, and is very involved in helping the Indian community for any funeral arrangements as a community service. So welcome, Mr. Bob Kripalani. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Veena. Let me say thank you to you and thanks to Baulal inviting me here. I'm very happy that Naveda is doing day by day very good things. Okay, as you just informed the people that I have been here such a long time.
Just 1 second. I'm going to introduce everyone first and then I'll come back to you.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Wonderful. Next, we have Mr. Rajiv Boringwar. I hope I got that right. Okay. So he is the CEO of Hemraj Consulting UK, and he's an author, speaker, and a Heartfulness Meditation trainer. His company is a niche consulting firm in automotive and aerospace industry. Rajiv was recognized as industry leader by American biographer Marcus Who's Who since 2017. And his mission is to help organizations deliver safe, secure, compliant, and reliable vehicles and systems on time, on a budget, and to make this planet safer and better for mankind. So, thank you, Mr. Raji, for being here finally with us. We've been speaking to you about this for a while, and I'm so happy that you're here today. You have to unmute yourself, Mr. Raji.
So thank you for your time and inviting me, Veena. And I'm going to take the liberty of calling you Lal by breaking the rules because that's aligned with the theme that 80 is the new 50. So we just call each other by first names and remind ourselves of our childhood in the spirit of the theme of this today's session.
Wonderful, wonderful. Next, we have Mr. Dharam Mirpuri, who is the director of SB International Hong Kong, which is a family-run business. He has a love of sports, especially football, and also serves as a general committee member at the Kowloon Cricket Club of Hong Kong, where he overlooks all F&B activities and also is the head of communications. Both positions are a social service position as he passionately enjoys serving people and improving and learning. So thank you, Dharam, for being here at such short, well, actually we told you about this 3 weeks ago. You didn't know anything about this, but with good faith, you came in and I'm sure you're going to enjoy this.
Thank you for having me. Yes, I will enjoy this. Unlike, unlike Mr. Rajiv said, we're going to be on first name basis, but I don't think I will be able to be on first name basis because a couple of gentlemen up here are friends with my father's, and so it won't come out the same. But
no, be American. Be American.
The spirit
Like
is what is
American,
important.
they call it by name.
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. Next, we have Dr. Sanjay Nagakar. He is a world-renowned microbiologist. He is a PhD from the University of Hong Kong. He is a visionary scientist who coined the word wellness and introduced organic food to the world some 30 years ago when everybody shunned his ideas and did not believe that the wellness and organic industry was going to boom in the next 30 years. So you can see he is a visionary scientist who sees 30 years ahead of time. Okay, so if you have any questions to ask him what's going to happen in the next 30 years, he'll tell you. So he has also published more than 100 scientific papers, research article reports, and conference abstracts. He has invented 83 technologies in preventive healthcare. He's in environmental science, ecology, and nutraceutical functional foods. He's also Naveda's in-house scientist, and here is a man who truly understands the depths of wellness as an integral approach and passionately, patiently, and generously shares his knowledge with those who are genuinely interested to progress and willing to learn and make a continuous paradigm and transformational shifts in their lives. So welcome, Dr. Sanjay, once again.
Thank you, Veena. So we are going to enjoy this evening. So I hope, looking forward to hear everyone.
Excellent. Last but not least, we have our dear Mr. Lal Daryanani, who is Naveda's director, and our 80 is the new 50 campaign ambassador. He is well known as Lal Lamos. He's a business tycoon who understands what it takes to go from rags to riches. He has owned multiple businesses around the world and only until 10 years ago decided that he wanted to enjoy his golden years. But being a habitual business tycoon and a man with a golden heart, he's always looking to grow, learn, evolve, and thrive, even at his age, when people in their 50s give up. So, Naveda Wellness has given him an opportunity to bring in a paradigm shift in the way people deal with their health and well-being, and also offer a purpose to our senior citizens to live a more purposeful and meaningful life. He is truly a role model and an inspiration to all that he crosses path with. So welcome again, Mr. Lal. Thank you
Thank
for being
you. Thank
here.
you. Thank you, Veena.
This panel discussion is not the same without you.
I'm here.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm going to start with Mr. Bob.
Hi, everybody. Good
Are you
evening.
ready? Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
So how do you so I'm going to make this a Q&A so it'll be easier for you, okay?
Okay. Okay.
So Mr. Bob, when we approached you, I think we just approached you yesterday and you said, "Yes, I love your spirit."
Always ready.
I love your spirit because I think that's one of the secrets to longevity and active aging.
Yes.
All right. So
Yes.
what did you when we approached you about our campaign? What was your first thought about this?
Well, when you say 80s is 50, so I count myself 40 only. And I was boosted by your words. Why not? I'm 40. And I also encourage the more younger people and the elder people how to maintain how I have been maintaining since last more than 30 years.
Hmm. Yes, I know that you have been maintaining yourself for the last 30 years and you really have been, you have your own routine or your discipline of
Yes.
taking care of yourself. So perhaps
Yes.
you would like to share with the audience what are some
Yes,
of the
sure.
disciplines that you follow to keep yourself evergreen?
Sure. Well, I can say Dharam, I think almost more than 20 years, Dharam used to come the same gym also. Isn't it, Dharam? Am I right?
That's right. That was a YMCA gym. That's
Yes.
right.
So I'm still continue. A lot of Indians they join, but they disappear within 3 weeks, 6 weeks, month, at the most 3 months. So let me start. Okay. Everybody knows that health is wealth. If your health is not good, nothing is good. Very simple. Then how to keep your health good? It's not a secret, but it's a laziness of the many people. We should early to bed, early to rise. You know, they used to sing a poem, early to bed, early to rise, make a man healthy, wealthy, and wise, isn't it?
Yes.
So we must follow that. And I think everybody should give their at least 1 hour per day to their health for exercising, yoga, running, whatever, swimming, at least 1 hour at least. Of course, I go for 3 hours, which is a lot, you know. But once you wake up in the morning, it is just the laziness of the few seconds you step down at your earth, you are awake with the big eyes. Okay. And if you continue any habit, good habit or bad habit, what I have experienced, if you do the same thing for 14 days, definitely you will continue. Suppose if I want to drink alcohol for if I drink continue 14 days, then it will be my whole life habit, which I don't have. I have only gym and a swim. I love it. Then still I keep on walking also. So once you wake up in the fresh in the morning, after freshen up, have some tea, and you get out from your home for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. You can go for any sports. You can go for gym. You can go for yoga. You can go for swim. After that 2 or 3 hours, I think you have a lot of energy to work. If you are in a business or in any work, your whole day is so fresh. I don't know. I have my own experience, my memory, which is getting day by day more sharp. You know, once if I see anybody, like I have customers from 3 to 4 generations now. I remember their grandfather used to come, his father used to come. I remember them still by their names and surname and where they're from, because they are from the various part of the world. Of course, mostly Indians. somebody Jaipur, somebody Baroda, somebody Ahmedabad. I can recognize it. I remember. So that is called the memory, once if you do these things. Then secondly, I don't know if people agree or don't agree. Our mouth should be controlled. Mouth should be controlled means what? What you eat, what you drink. If you eat a healthy food, it starts from breakfast. Of course, the timing should be same. If you are having breakfast at 9 o'clock, so every day 9 o'clock. If you are having lunch 1 o'clock, every day 1 o'clock. Dinner time 8 o'clock means it. Don't change your timing. This makes a lot of difference. Then again, I come back to the same thing: early to bed, early to rise. Even you same time, you must sleep same time every day. People say I sleep 10 hours, no use. You say 8 hours, no use. We must say that what is the quality of your sleep? If you have a sound sleep, 5 hours is enough, 6 hours is enough. If you are lying in the bed 10 hours and you are just changing and dreaming a lot, no use. You get tired all the day, then you sleep, you see how fresh you are in the next morning, very fresh. Besides that, I don't know, I have a very bad habit. I keep on smiling. If I see even a small child, I smile. Any customer, doesn't matter he's black or white, he's European or American, Indian or Pakistani, makes no difference. There are many things, if any Sindhi come, I say Hariom. Angrez come, English people, sir, good morning. So this is the way. If you just greet the people with a smile, customer will not go anywhere. Sometimes, of course, if I don't have, they go, So this is my habit, Even sometimes I meet a lot of my friends on the way, I stand up and greet them, So they are very, they appreciate a lot, So it is this is the secret of the happiness. Okay, you will be happy if you greet somebody with a smile and he smiles with you, or he or she, your day is very good. This is the cause of my health. More than 30 years, my body weight is same, my figure is same. I think I have a suit 25 years back, which I wore in my son's marriage. Still have, it can fix, but fit me very well, no problem. Of course, I make a lot of suits every year, but still. So you have to be dressed up nicely also, Winter time, many people say, are you going for a party? No, sir, I'm going to my shop. Oh, why? You don't need a tie in your shop. I said, what to do? I started my career with the tailoring shop. I worked for a tailor shop, and then we had our boss say, always be in tie, always in the suit. So this become my very good habit, even if I'm in a shop. So what? When you are dressed up nicely, your working style is totally different. If you are loose with this and that, you cannot. Besides, when you are in the gym, you must concentrate to the gym. When you are in office, you concentrate to office. You are at home, concentrate to your family. Okay, of course, it's not like that all the time. I have a customer, I'm busy. So in that time, then I listen to the music. Sometimes I sing along, old songs or new songs, that keep me still young. Still, I look 40, I think so. I don't know whether you agree or not. Not only songs, but a lot of people in Hong Kong, they know me. I've been singing bhajan also since many years. I take care of the stage at the Happy Valley Temple since a couple of years, Of course, Veena told a lady that I've been doing some, I should not repeat again. That is when I go for anybody's funeral, I arrange everything. But when I come back, I feel very peaceful that God has given me such a nice duty, thanks to God, And you try, if you are doing these things, you can make your life, And one thing more, as much I know, everybody, majority in the world, whoever God they believe, we keep on asking God, please give me money. God, please give me house, give me children, give me this and that. So we get it. God gives. Of course, we cannot see the God hands, but somehow He gives us, He gives us the brain to work, and we do it. So why not we ask the God, give me 100 years life, God, please. So I ask every day, God, please give me the same health and give me 100 years to live, to enjoy this life. And I hope I will live 100 years. I hope so, with the blessing of all of you.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
Yeah,
Keep it up.
yeah. And then, yes, not only this, but one has to be, there's a certain age we run after money. So same like Mr. Lal, he's not running after money. Money is coming itself to him, Money is coming itself to you. So money is not important. Now come to your health, come to your family, then think it over what you have given to your, suppose you are socializing, okay, socialize, never mind. But what you have given to the government, what you have given to this world, can you give back to this world? So we must do something, some good activities. Like I go, there are a lot of people, they go and get admission in the hospital. And if I come to know, I'm there. Some of people, even they don't know me very well, but they get surprised, I go and just see them, and talk to them 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, and encourage them that you will be back very soon. Don't worry, come on. They cry. No need. You just believe in yourself and believe in the God. So they come back and they walk to my shop and they come and say, bless me. Thank you, Bob. You encourage me. I'm back here. So I feel very happy for those people. Really, I'm telling you. So we must change ourselves according to our age. Of course, up to 40 years, I was running too. I travel around the world, many countries, for the business. Even I used to work here, say 20 hours in a day, late nights and wake up in the morning. But this time is over. Now I'm totally working for my health and enjoying my life like Mr. Lal, and try to help anyone. For me, doesn't make difference. Anybody come for help, I'm there. So always remember, whenever you wake up, you must wake up with a smile. If you have a mirror in front of you, you look at yourself. And the same way we do one more exercise. Since we are still in the business, of course we are not working, but we are taking care of our bank accounts. We look at the bank statement, how much money I have. Why not we look at our health, what progress I have? Did I make big muscles? Okay, so we must take our health day to day. It is very, very much important. When sun rises, sun gives everybody smile, wakes up everybody. Not only it gives to the flowers sunshine, then it gives the birds. Birds start singing in the morning. The same way we should keep on smiling all the time. Sun is set for all the time for everybody, so we must, besides that, the sun rise and sunset. You see, the sunrise has a time, but sunset has a time. So we must take care of the timing. Timing is a very important, It is not like that I have to go 7 o'clock to gym, but I'm waking up 8 o'clock. No, come on, man, no. My office hour is 10 to 6 and I'm going 11 o'clock. No way. No way. You have to be 1 minute earlier than 10 o'clock. Okay, that is the punctuality. Not only for you're working, but even any occasion, anywhere you go, if there is a timing, you must take care. If you don't regard your time, time will take care of you. Come on, we must take care of the proper time.
Wonderful, Mr. Bob. So from what I'm hearing, that for you, discipline, you have a template, you have a discipline that you are strictly following, which allows you to live a very healthy life.
Yes.
So that's wonderful to know. And if you look at Mr. Lal over here, he is at the age of 80, and I don't think he has the same kind of a discipline that you have, or
No.
not a strict discipline, but he is still living a very healthy, happy, active life. So, I mean, it's nice to see that to live a happy, healthy, active life, one can form their own sort of routine that helps them, because he is at the age of 80. He's not been following the same discipline like you since the last 30 years, but he still lives a very full life. He's still very happy, very active, very healthy, and so it's like there's no particular same format, but of course there's certain general guidelines which people can follow if they would like to live a happy, healthy, active life, right?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So, Dr.
Yes. I
Sanjay,
watch him from the gym
Yeah,
when
yeah.
he's in the
I,
morning.
yeah. That's what I said. Like it's an inspiration. So there are many people villains get inspired by Bob, and then they say like, hey, like if he's so punctual or disciplined, self-disciplined, why don't I do myself and follow the footstep of Bob? And some people can say, oh, like I like Lal's lifestyle. I want to be a bit lazy and
Play
happy-go-lucky type of
cards.
person,
Play cards.
playing card and this, all that. So it's a choice. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's wonderful because we have been seeing since the last 5 months. It's like there's no particular one form of template that tells you follow this and you will get. Yes, there's certain practices, and if your lifestyle allows you to lead that, or you are getting, for example, if Dharam feels, I like the way Mr. Bob lives, I will take some of his practices. But if he says, no, I'm the chill kind of a person, and I'm like Mr. Lal, and I would like to pick up a few of his, footsteps. So it really depends on everybody's personality. Like you said, when you go to YMCA, you have been going since the last 30 years, but there have been very few people who have been as consistent as you have been, right?
No one.
So you are an extraordinary person with an extraordinary way of living.
Is the community know about this, Bob?
Yes, a lot of
Because
people know.
I think like this community and especially like the younger people should know about this discipline, because like one of the pandemic in the world is a lack of discipline. Okay, so it's very interesting to hear that 30 years, and if you manage to keep that discipline, wow, like thank you very much. Like it's great.
This is what I want to encourage all the people any age.
I
Great.
just want to say, Uncle Bob, I know I stopped coming to YMCA 20 years ago, but I didn't stop going to the gym. I'm working out in another gym now, but I'm still there. So I haven't stopped either.
Change
But
of
you're
place.
100% right. I will say a lot of the stuff Uncle Bob said. Firstly, I will like to tell everybody and those of the listeners that I have such a respect for Uncle Bob because I've known him for many, many years now. He's a friend of my father's, and we go back from Lucknow as well. And the seva that he does with the funerals and helping all the Indians and whoever needs help is really hats off. I mean, he's there for everybody. He's always been there, smiling. I've never seen him frustrated or depressed or anything on the road. Absolutely, completely right. So hats off to you, Uncle Bob. You do something which a lot of people can only talk about, but many don't step forward to do it. So hats off. And we all thank you for that service.
Great.
But Veena, I would like to add to what Uncle Bob said. Exercise is something that's really important, but at the same time, I've been doing it myself for 20 or 25 years now. I mean, obviously I don't have a muscular body and everything, but it's all about each one's goals, and you set goals for yourself. And but the true thing is, for me, is what lets you grow, what lets you evolve, and what lets you stay young as you get older, right? Okay, I'm only 42 right now. I'm the youngest on the panel. But I feel everything comes down to the mind. We've all said an idle mind is a devil's mind, right? Is someone that's going to stir up some trouble. And I think Dr. Sanjay will probably reflect on this a bit more. But a lot of illnesses as well come when the mind is not happy, and when your depression comes through that. And I just feel as time has gone on, I mean, there's so much stuff that Uncle Bob said I wanted to say as well, so I won't repeat. I do exercise a lot, but the bottom line is, if you keep yourself busy, this is what works for me. So as you know, I do a lot of work for Column Cricket Club, right? Now it's not a paying job. So but what happens is, I know the day has 24 hours. I'm going to sleep for 8. I still have 16 hours. Now, there are a lot of people running after money, doing business and making money. I believe we should all work hard. But at the same time, people can't forget to do stuff that makes them happy. And what makes me happy is my sport, is my exercise, is having a drink with some friends, playing poker. So, of course, it can't be abused, like Uncle Bob said. But it is very important, the people that are running after making money or doing something specific, they have to do stuff that makes them happy. It's very important. And that, I feel, is what keeps you young. So if you look at the panel right now, I apologize. I don't know Mr. Rajiv and Dr. Sanjay personally. I would love to get to know you guys one of these days. But I know Uncle Lal and Uncle Bob for the last 40 years, 30 years actually, not 40, I'm 40, 30 years. And I've always seen them smiling, always. So they're obviously doing stuff that they enjoy and that keeps them happy and keeping them busy, and that I think is the key. I think is the key.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah,
Absolutely agree with
yeah.
that.
Wonderful. So,
I'd like
Rajiv,
to pick up on just few things, two things that Bob said and one thing that Dharam said. So smile is infectious, I completely agree with you, Bob. I think that's really, laughter is the best medicine is for a reason. So I think I at least have been again re-inspired by you. And there is what is known as the power of one or focusing. And you mentioned about focusing, being in the gym, and when you're at work focusing on work, that I think is absolutely essential. um, the power of one is so effective. You could get 52 tasks completed in a year, as against I've heard many people saying you've been struggling with this for more than 2 years and 3 years. But if you focus on one thing for a week, you could get 52 things done in a year. And that's the power of one. So sometimes we try to do too many things, and we probably don't make progress in any of them. But if you pick just one, that can, you get the objective. That's probably better than trying your hands on quite a few. And you talked about 14-day habit, and I'm familiar that there is, I don't have the sources readily, but I think it's scientifically proven that if you do a thing consistently for 67 days, it becomes a habit. And of course, the 14 days is a kind of agile, shorter version, if you like. And that's why you have these 90 days challenges we have on our website. I mean, Heartfulness, I'll talk about it later when my turn comes. But this 90-day challenge, is the science behind is, you do that consistently over 67 days, then it becomes a part of your habit. And, that's a way to inculcate a habit, if you like. And what Dharam mentioned about this, doing what you like. So one of our, the third global spiritual guide, I'll come about it later, beloved Rajgopal Chariji, what he said was, don't work for money, because if you work for money, you become a slave. Work what you're passionate about, work, because when you work of what you're passionate about, it's no longer work. You become a masterpiece, and what you create becomes a masterpiece. It doesn't matter if it's not your own business and you are an employee working for someone, but you are the master of your own work. And that's what keeps you going. And then no longer it's work. So 24 hours looks too small for a day. So yeah, I'll let you continue, Veena, but I just wanted to reinforce what both Dharam and Bob mentioned, and that quite resonated very well with their thoughts.
So before Veena start, I just want to add so we can discuss later. Just from the scientific perspective, Rajiv, I absolutely agree with you. And then to all of you and all to the audience as well, would like to share. There's a very new branch of science. It's called the neuroplasticity. Okay. Neuroplasticity, like we are learning more, we have a better instrument and all those kind of things. We are like we know much about our brain and behavior. And neuroplasticity is like the way you will train your brain or feed your
I see.
brain will adopt it very nicely. Okay. So
Absolutely.
unfortunately, what happened, the words, the selection of the word, that the word we call addiction is a very wrong word. We can get addicted of many good things as well. So brain
Exactly.
is the absolutely smart, um, a functional organ if you do something consistently for some time period, brain get addicted of it. Okay. Now the thing is that if you have to choose a good habit, better to get addicted of the good habit. That's it. So whether you do good or bad, so this is under the neuroplasticity. And I suggest everyone, like, if you can read a book and you want to know more, it's a fascinating stuff about our brain, the word called the neuroplasticity.
Interesting.
And the uh, opposite of this word is like, there's so many people, they cannot smile, or they have a lot of like the issues in life. So there is another word of it, it's called the cognitive bias. Okay. Cognitive
Yes.
bias means you are so strong in your belief that you just so rigid over the time period. So the moment you have a cognitive bias, the first thing disappear is your smile. So this is a two word, like I add on that, like, so okay, so neuroplasticity and the cognitive bias, please read, and there's a lot of good books about it.
Fun. So I'm going to ask my final question to Mr. Bob. So, Mr. Bob, I mean, you are very inspirational, but it's something that, of course, like I said, you're extraordinary in the way you have been living in your life, and you know, you are fit, you're happy, you're healthy. God bless. May you continue to be like this for the next how many
Yes.
ever years. You know, your God has.
100, 100,
100, he already say 100.
Yes.
Yeah, my target is 100.
Yeah.
Yes. So we just want to share with you that even like, for example, seniors of your age who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s, who have not worked on their health like, yourself or Mr. Lal has, they have their own sort of challenges. They have their physical challenges. They have certain mental challenges, right?
Yes.
So similarly, we have also offered them solutions. Like, for example, Naveda has offered, therapeutic chair yoga classes, therapeutic chair dance yoga classes. So this is catered towards the seniors, which we've been running since last year, right? So not everybody is as fortunate as you or Mr. Lal. So we don't want to scare, or yes, it can be very inspirational to many people who are still young, fit, and they will continue to live this way. But how about those who are not physically very fit, or
Or
not,
lazy,
or
or lazy. Like,
simply late?
I use the Bob's word, lazy.
So there are many. So I just want to share with the audience who's listening that there are many other sort of activities which they can still practice, which will allow them to have the flexibility and the movements and the brain work that is going on and the mindset. But the only thing is that you need to be open to it. Openness is one of the things that one has to have if they want to grow and evolve. Like Dr. Sanjay said, if you have a fixed mindset and you say, no, this is not the way I do things, I see things only this way. I have seen many youngsters in the ages of 40 who refuse to be on social media. Youngsters in their 40s refuse to be in social media. That is because they are fixed in a certain way and they do not want to change. So, what's going to happen to these people? They're going to be wiped off because you have to progress in life at whatever age. If you don't, the old will be progress. Like the camera, Kodak camera is never used anymore. It's a monument, right? So you have to adapt to the iPhones, the smartphones, and stuff like that. So Mr. Lal, I would say, is really a role model. Where if there's a latest phone, he's the first one to say, I want to change my phone. He will ask the youngster, teach me how to use the phone. He's into green screen shooting. He's into learning and developing his voice. So anything new, which even I don't want to change, he will push me to change. You know, so that's the thing about youthfulness, is not having a fixed mindset of how discipline looks like or how exercise looks like, because there are so many possibilities in this world. One has to just be open to them. So, like for example, maybe Mr. Bob, your family might not be like to have the kind of discipline that you have. Your wife, your children might not want to follow, but there are other possibilities because maybe they're lazy or they're too busy. That is possible. So sometimes it's like You know, when children look at you, maybe they'll say, "Oh my God, you know, there's no way that I can achieve this," right? But then there are many other possibilities in life. That's what I.
So no, so that is why our request that Bob and Mr. Lal kind of people should come more and more to the community and speak in a community platform, because like as Dharam said, like he knows Bob uncle for and Lal uncle for such a long time. So we know many people and we don't know other people, right? So Bob, I think like many people don't know you. So the people don't know you, or even who knows you, they need to know. I am telling you, like, you must do the first thing. Tell everyone about your discipline. And I tell you, like, you will change the half of like the people in Hong Kong, I'm sure. Because you see, like the whole idea here is like what Dharam is saying, like he is doing voluntary work in KCC, right? It is his choice, but he is young, right? So we understand young people, we have a lot of these kind of thing, but at your age to still maintain that, that is the key. And that is a message for Dharam and myself and Rajiv, for everyone, that hey, we can still go ahead for 20, 30, 40 years. Like if you guys can go, why can't us? Isn't it, Dharam?
Yes.
Well, I
Absolutely
could
right. You're
say
absolutely right. But I will also add, it's not only Uncle Bob, even his family. They do a lot of. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was at a seva with him, with his son, where we went to feeding some poor people, in Hong Kong. So his whole family is, he's rubbing off on his family. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Salute, sir.
So.
sir, I don't want to tell you, my all family members, my elder son is too much involved in the charities. My wife, she goes 2, 3 times in the yoga classes. Then my other children, they are also good. They are in some activity, but not exactly like me. But one thing is there, only don't smile. You must create a joke and make them laugh.
Yes.
Let me say 1 or 2 jokes instant. You see, I don't know you understand Hindi or not. If I say this joke in Hindi, you will understand better. My wife this morning asked me, what vegetable would you like to have today? Okay, in Sindhi language. I said, whatever you want. She said, how about bhindi? I said, okay. Then she again asked me, how you will eat? Aap kaise khaoge? It means you want to have a fried one, or you want with onion one, bhaji, or I say, I want to eat like this. You see, you understand? I was just teasing her, and she make laugh. So sometimes even I walk in at home, my maid is asking me, sir, is it raining outside? I said, rain is always outside. I have never seen raining inside. You see? So you must have some jokes. So keep them laugh yourself. As much you laugh, you will be more fit. And one more thing I must say, anybody, I don't know, it depends on everybody's health and the doctor choice. A lot of people take too many tablets, blood pressure, okay, cholesterol, okay, diabetes, so many. No, come on. I don't advise for any kind of a tablets. There's a there's a body talk. Your body talks for what you need actually. So try to avoid those medicines. These
Great.
medicines every medicine have a side effect. So I never take any medicine. Never. I'm medicine free. Thanks God. That's it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bob. I will move on to Rajiv. Mr. Rajiv, how are you?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you.
I hope you've been enjoying this discussion so far.
Yes, yes, it's been a very inspirational and enjoyable experience. Uh, uh, and as you said, laughter is infectious. So,
Yes.
and I think it's a pretty interesting panel, and I really like the theme. And as I said, the natural and herbal aspects of Naveda, because I think that with the Indian Ayurveda, what we have a lot to share with the world. And No, I'm glad that there is some progress in the herbal organic products, which can really make us more healthy.
So tell us a little bit about, we all hear about transcendental meditation, we hear about Raj Yoga, we hear about twin heart meditation, we hear about so many meditations. So what is
Yes.
heartfulness meditation?
So sure. So Heartfulness is the trading name. The original name of the mission is Sri Ramchandra Mission, which is now headquartered in Kana in Hyderabad, which is a transformed, desert into a forest area, a rainforest, if you like. It's based on Raj Yoga, as you mentioned, and it's the mission, the practice, and the guide. So these are the three foundations of the mission of the global charity, which is based in over 173 countries in the world. And we have over 10,000 trainers and over 1 million practitioners. So what is unique about the heartfulness meditation is it is supported by it is Raj Yoga. It is supported by divine life energy, or pranahuti as we call it. So when we meditate, the trainer is able to, through the source, connect the subtle divine energy into the hearts of the meditators. And that's the unique difference with the other meditations that you come across. We don't claim that we are the only ones doing it, but we are, and experience it for yourself. So our global spiritual guide, beloved Kamlesh Daji, as we call him lovingly, he says, take a scientific approach. You be the experimenter, and you be the experiment, and you be the analysis of that experiment. So we offer what is known as taster meditations, which could be 10 minutes, 30 minutes. And we approach a very pharmaceutical scientific approach of, they have this concept of a placebo. So, before you try out a medicine, you have a target, a target group, and you give them the placebo, and then you have giving them the medicine, and you compare the difference. So what we do is, we give you a 10-minute of meditation without the pranahuti, and then we give you another 10 minutes or 20 minutes of meditation with the pranahuti, and you can experience the difference for yourself. So what it really does, in a sense, is gets the best version out of you. So if you look at human body, and I'm going to look at it in two different dimensions. So one is the heart, the heart, the mind, the body, and the soul. So these are the, as Veena mentioned, to look at it from an integral perspective or a holistic perspective. The other approach also is, there are three layers of the human being. What is known as Karan Sharir, Stool Sharir, and Sukshma Sharir. So Karan Sharir is the soul, which is the reason of your existence. And Stool Sharir is your physical body. It's the physical manifestation of the soul. And Sukshma Sharir, or subtle bodies, they are what differentiate, a scientist, a hacker, a thief, or, a Nobel Prize winner, or somebody who does charity. So we always have heard of this term, warm-hearted person and a cold-hearted person. So why is this warm-hearted and cold-hearted? So when we are born, we are biological human beings. But the journey from a biological human being to a human being is an evolution, and it is a spiritual path that takes you to the goal of your human life. And that's what this heartfulness is all about. Looking at a holistic approach and helping in your evolution from a biological to a human being, making the best version out of you. And it has, the practice, which is individual practice, group meditation, the mission, which is the organization which supports all of this, and the master, which is a global spiritual guide. You need a living master, or, a living human being, which is basically, it's like a guru, again, this Guru Sishya has evolved from India and many other countries. It has been there. So the reason why we have religion is, how do we see God? God is omnipresent. He has no form. Yet, we have thousands of gods and goddesses in the Hindu religion, Jerusalem, Islam, the Bible. So there is a manifestation. So how can you have a manifestation of something that is formless and omnipresent?
So, Mr. Rajiv, just to interrupt you, I want to ask you, what are some of the benefits of this meditation? Does it help someone become younger?
Well, I think age is just a number. If you are passionate in what you do, it's uh, there was a Colonel Kentucky, KFC. At the age of 83, he started a global business. There's a gentleman whose name I forget, but in the electric vehicle industry, electric vehicles, lithium-ion battery, he invented something in the 40s on lithium-ion batteries. He improvised it in 60s. And now at the age of 93, he's come up with another innovation, which is fueling this autonomous, connected and electric vehicles, with the zero carbon emission and making sustainability and a better life for human being. So, and he has done that at 93. So if you are passionate about what you do, age is literally just a number, and we all have to leave this place at some point, and it's in our destiny. What's important is, can we have an impact? Can we leave footprints of a path that we have not been traversed before, and have a positive impact on the planet? That's what is important. It doesn't matter whether you live the age of 40 or 100 or 140. And I correlate this with the experience. Somebody says, how do you compare two persons? One person has 10 years experience in one organization in one area, and there's another person who has 10 one-year experiences in very different challenges, different organization, different contexts. So it's the quality rather than the quantity that matters. And what heartfulness meditation does is what Dharam was mentioning earlier, is the heart and mind. So, he talked about idle mind being a devil's workshop. So heartfulness meditation allows you to regulate your mind and focus your mind on what matters at the time of the day or the month or the year. So mind it's like, 1,000 horses running in different directions. I'm scientifically, Sanjay can correct me if I'm wrong, but there are millions of thoughts going on in your mind. There'll be probably tens of thousands thoughts that come across your human brain in 24 hours. So what heartfulness meditation is doing is, why do we meditate on the heart? Because the heart is where biologically the blood is pumped throughout the body, and the purification of that blood is done in the heart. And spiritually, it actually also is associated with the character of a person. So by transmitting at the heart, it is purifying the entire body. And what it is in the way we do this is, we focus on a divine light in our heart, because God is omnipresent. It's there within us. We don't have to go anywhere. It's right within our heart. In each one of us has that soul from where we have all emerged, inside our heart. So we just give a thought of, meditating on divine light. The source of divine light is in our heart. And what that allows you to do is, when you are meditating on just one object, the brain, as Sanjay said, is very intelligent, and it starts becoming that object on which we are meditating. And if that object is so subtle, which is, divine light, the source of energy, or a manifestation of the global spiritual guide, whom is a person whom we all would imbibe and want to become like, then that's what evolves us as a human being.
Wonderful. Dr. Sanjay, you have anything to
Yeah,
share?
it's very interesting. There is a point what Rajiv is saying. So first, like the heart brain, it's like I always call it like a symbiotic relationship.
Yes.
Like in a casual way, we see like, okay, brain is brain, heart is heart.
And
Yes.
But actually, if you see very deep down, heart is giving brain a blood, and in
Absolutely.
return, brain is giving heart a electrical signal, a precise electrical signal throughout
Yes.
our life, that you will beat 72 times. The blood pressure is 120, 80. Like we like it's a little bit like taking science into kind of things, just to explain to the audience and the panel also.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Science is a good example.
We never ask a question why our blood pressure is 120, 80. Why not 200 or things like that? There's something. So brain has decided something that, okay, this is the blood pressure I'm going to give the heart so heart can maintain it. Then the brain is decided that, okay, I'm going to give you 72 beats, right? So brain is basically giving an instruction to the heart on which heart is performing. In return, heart is giving a blood supply to the brain. So like it's a kind of like we always say there's a symbiotic relationship between the brain and the heart. So that's the first very interesting part. Second, what you say about the meditation, about the thoughts, right? And this is true that science has proved it, and we know that, like, means like millions and gazillions of thoughts, like always like going around in our mind. So meditation is like how you meditate. Like, is it easy? How we, again, like when we have so much thoughts in mind, how you can lock your mind, right? So
Yeah.
basically what you are saying, your mind, hey mind, please stop and focus, right? So just sharing with you, like many people may know, many people may not, the world oldest educational institute for yoga learning, I'm not talking about yoga, I'm talking about the educational, formal educational institute, is known as Munger Yog Vidya Ashram, which is in Munger, Bihar. And they have a very a strong this procedure called Yog Nindra, which is very popular around the world as a power nap. And in this power nap, they have a 15-minute guided sleep, just 15 minutes. Okay. And anyone who use or practice this Yoga Nindra only for 15 minutes, that 15 minutes power nap, guided power nap, is equivalent to 8 hours or 5 hours of sleep. So that's what, Rajiv, you are explaining, in other words. So that's what I get it like. So there are like things.
Sanjay, I would like to add one more thing. When you talked about this power nap,
Yeah.
experience, there's a Heart Math Institute and Stanford University is
Yes,
doing
I
research,
know
and I
about
can
it.
send
Yeah.
some links later on
Yeah.
with the connections of the brain and the heart. Delta, so I think you probably know, but just for the help, benefit of audience, what is there? They're known as delta waves.
Yes.
So when you do the EEG of the brain, delta waves are the waves when a person is in deep sleep.
Yes.
And it has been experimentally done and experiments carried out and proven that people doing heartfulness meditation 5 minutes have actually have observed the delta waves. And I'm guilty. I'm not like Bob, getting up early and rising up late to sleep. I skipped 2 meetings this morning because my body has a safety mechanism. I've had quite a few sleepless nights. And because of meditation, if I decide to get up at 3 a.m. in the morning, no matter how tired I am, I actually get up at precisely 3 a.m. But my body's safety mechanism said, look, that's fine. If you're not alive, you can't anyway attend those meetings. So, you're not getting up. And but what has probably helped me is managing this is that I do morning meditation every day. And you talk of 15 minutes, our guide says, don't even say, if you don't have time, that is the only time when you need the meditation the most, because that is when it's going to focus your mind and make you more efficient. And and this is what I have actually experienced. So, this is not hearsay and not reading a book. Or our guide says, don't say that, please give me the power of a half an hour meditation in 5 minutes. He says, don't even say 5 minutes. I have seen less than a minute in matter of seconds. I experienced that the meditation is over, and it's not different from a normal half an hour meditation that I do. it's obviously you have to be authentic and truthful. You know, if you use this as a gimmick, it doesn't work. It has to be truthful and authentic. Genuinely, the situation is that you are pressed for 5 minutes of time. You will get what you get in half an hour. You will get that in probably 30 seconds. But you can't expect it. You can't ask for it. The moment you ask and expect, then it's lost.
See, this is very interesting. This is very interesting. You are putting the same thing like of the power nap theory, just for
Yes.
the audience and the panel again, both.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we give a lot of example of Stanford, Harvard, and all those kind of things, but we don't give the example of India. So I'm sharing with you a lot of, like, I am directly involved. A lot of my medical, my friends, those who are a medical doctor, cardiologist, neurologist, and all those kind of things. We have a lot of institution in India, and I would like to say like one of the institution in Rishikesh. It's a very state of the art research center where we have like all the top and instruments which is used in a medical science, which use in medical science. So what is happening in India, whether it is like you might have heard about, like whether you chant Om or whether you do the like this Gita or like this Gayatri mantra and all those
Yeah.
kind of things. So sound, this, that, and they measure the effect of this on your body.
Yes.
So there's a vast amount of literature available on that. And just sharing one line here, because you touched that topic and I can't stop myself, and I really
Welcome.
want to share with like people, and it can save many life. If any people can get any time a heart problem, that person can correct the heart problem by just quietly chanting Om sound in a proper way. The doctor's name is Dr. OP Sharma. He's from Jabalpur, well-known cardiologist. In 2016, we have like a Kumbh in Ujjain. He collected all this sand from all over the world, the big guys, and he proved it. So he is a cardiologist, which medically he proved this kind of thing. So this is not a kind of like a mythology kind of or
Yeah, it's
story or
based on
belief.
science and
It's a
data and
proper
evidence.
medical way. It is proved. Suppose like you have a heart condition and you started chanting. So Bob, it come back to you like medicine, right? So you don't need a medicine.
Yeah,
Sometimes
exactly.
like what Rajiv is saying, what I am saying. So there's a lot of things which normal human being don't believe it. But what I want to share with the audience through this panel here, that yes, there's a lot of research, lot of data, and there is a one very good lab. I know so many people have done PhDs from there, and they are doing PhDs on whom? Our saints, like sadhus in India.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a lot of databases available, like what sadhus are doing, like what they are eating, what time they are waking up,
Yeah.
what kind of chanting, food, and everything, and what is happening in their body, the like the brain wave, like all this delta wave meditation, all sort of thing, and everything is measured, right? It's not observing. There's a
Yes.
data in the machine. So I think like what Rajiv is said, like thank you very much for sharing. This is wonderful, and I
My
really want
pleasure.
to spread this message to the people. And I got this opportunity through you to say again that please believe on this our chanting kind of things. There's a Gayatri mantra is absolutely, there's a power of that. Like even in a research point of view, if you can chant Gayatri mantra, you can try yourself, right? You don't have to spend a lot of time,
Yeah.
but you can see the benefit of it. If you cannot chant Gayatri mantra, just listen it. But as Rajiv said, get 5 minutes. 5 minutes can give a more. Like you don't need to make a plan that you need 1 hour, 30 minutes, or 35 minutes, or 2 hours, something like that. So I think Bob, we got all, like whether it is Dharam, Rajiv, Bob, Lal, Veena. I think like everyone is a role model here. You guys have to do a lot of work to the for the
Yeah.
society.
I
Right?
just wanna I just wanna add. It's very interesting what Mr. Rajiv said, and as a lot of information I didn't know before, and I thank you and Dr. Sanjay. But see, actually, why do we meditate? We actually meditate to get peace of mind and to control our thoughts, right? That's basically. So I just want to share something about myself. I actually don't meditate. I have tried to, and I don't feel I have the patience to, because my mind runs like 1,000 horses, like you said earlier. But what helps me is, back to what I said earlier, is what I enjoy doing. So I'll just take a very simple example. In the business I'm into export, and there are a lot of stresses in everyone's lives every day. Okay. But for example, if I go to play football, I can reach the football pitch and I would have 100 things in my mind that are stressing me out. Okay. But as soon as I cross that line to get onto that football pitch, my because I enjoy what I'm doing, because I like what I'm doing and I'm enthusiastic about it, the only thought in my head for that 1.5 hours is how to get the ball in that net and score that goal. And that's all it is, how to win that match. And you won't believe, there's a lot of times when I've been on the phone before I go to play something, a sport that I enjoy, doing something that I like to do. And I'm upset and I'm frustrated. I can't control my emotions. I go and do what I like to do. It eases my mind for 90 minutes. It's like a meditation in itself. And
Absolutely.
suddenly, 90 minutes later, I come off the football pitch, I pick up that phone call, and I have a complete different perspective on how to handle the situation. And I would have saved myself from saying something I would have regretted for the rest of my life, and I've
Dharam,
experienced this and multiple times.
Dharam, I want to add on to that, that somehow the word meditation is very misleading word. So what you are doing, that is also meditation,
Correct, correct,
right?
correct.
Playing is
Yes,
also meditation. Meditation doesn't mean you sit down and focus.
exactly,
Meditation
exactly.
means like whatever you can focus. If you can play like your like a game for
Yeah,
90 minutes, that's a
yeah,
meditation. Like you have stayed
correct,
forward 90 minutes into meditation.
correct,
I
correct.
So
think
I
like,
would like to add to what you just said, Dharam and Sanjay, is meditation is in the morning in our practice, and for the rest of the day, it is living in that meditative experience. So it doesn't end with 5 minutes or 30 seconds or half an hour of your morning meditation. Is what that allows you to do is to remain in that state at work, at play, in conversation with your family, with your friends. So it is a state. Meditation is a state. That state needs to be there 24/7. So really what it does is it's kind of, it's kind of a booster, you get a booster dose, you have your, morning meditation, and from that, you then remain, you have a small, thoughtful, prayerful suggestion that please allow me to retain this condition that I have gained throughout the day. And when you have an ability to recall that state which you had in the morning, whatever you are. So as you said, when you are playing football, it's the power of one. Again, you are focusing, and meditation is all about focus. You're focusing on one thing, and mind is something you cannot control. So that is one thing we need to understand and accept. You cannot control the mind because
see,
it
Rajiv,
is running in direction, but you can regulate it. So what it's, as Sanjay said, the connection, the biological, neuron connection between the heart and the brain. And with this meditation practice, you are able to regulate the mind, and the mind now becomes trained to focus on what is it that you're doing and what is it that matters to you.
see,
Correct.
Rajiv, what is the very interesting thing happening in this panel? We are all saying the same thing,
Yeah,
but we are all using our different examples.
Correct.
approaches, correct.
We are not in conflict with anyone. We are
Absolutely.
all presenting the same thing. Bob his own style, Dharam is his own style, you have your own, Mr. Lal
Yeah.
is his own, I have like, but we
I
are
go
saying
play
the same thing.
cards.
So that's the power.
I go
So I
play
really
cards.
want to add like,
Goal is common.
yeah, like, so my meditation is, I'm a lazy person. I work very slow. More slow I work, more productive I am. I can work in 3 hours, 1 week work. I don't need a 1 week. I can produce, provided I'm very slow. The moment I move fast,
That's me too.
I lose the track. right?
It's very individualistic. See, every individual is a unique, and each individual has a unique, God-given gift or talent, what you like, and that's unique for that individual.
Exactly. So very interesting. So that is why I'm saying today is so interesting that we all giving our example, different example, but we are all in agreement with each other. We are saying the same. The
Absolutely.
one single message is going out. And I like this Dharam thing, like 90 minutes. That's what his meditation is. Meditation is not about sitting and putting an asana, closing the eyes and like chanting something. No, meditation is at anywhere you are running, like when Bob is maybe swimming, that's his meditation.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
do meditation for
24
4 hours.
by 7,
Hello.
24 by 7, being focused on what you're doing.
Mr. Lal
yeah,
is
Mr. Lal,
I
meditating
Mr. Lal
something
want
I
to say
do
something.
else.
meditation for 4 hours. When I go play cards,
Yes.
that is my meditation. I play with Dharam's father, he and me, we have meditation together.
Yeah.
No, I think like let's establish this thing today. This is very important. Like I think like why people are talking about meditation, because as Dharam said, and as everyone saying, like at one time when we are in a work mode or something, like we got stuck, we have so many thoughts, we are irritated, or our brain is not working smoothly and all those kind of things. So that's why maybe the world is saying like, hey, you have to slow down, you have to calm down, you have to focus, and that's why the meditation is come, right?
Right.
But we all have our solution, right? So every individual being, they're finding their own way, what they like best. And that is why, as I say, like you mentioned, like Rajiv, your this meditation is basically from the Raj Yoga. So
Yes.
that's what it is. When we talk about the Astanga Yoga and this
Yes.
Munger thing, Munger is based on Raj Yoga. Raj
Yes.
Yoga means like no pressure, easy, right? So that's what I call like everything easy, like lazy. So my mantra is I'm lazy. You won't believe, like since 2000 I'm sharing with this. Since 2004, I don't work more than 4 hours a day. That's it. But I produce more than 20 hours of work per day, right? So now I have 17 years of experience of working only 4 hours a day and enjoying it. No regret, nothing, right? And then here one more thing, when Bob and we all agreed here, that what you will do with so much money if you can't use it, right? The
It's
idea
a
is like,
resource to be
is
used
you,
for good purpose.
no, that is there, but the satisfaction, like if you talk about, like we all talk about in the corporate world and all this rat race, right? So people say sometime like, okay, we want to be in a race, but we don't want to be a rat, right? That's the whole thing. So ultimately, what Dharam is saying, like I like this, like he offer his volunteer service to KCC and doing it. Who is forcing him? No one is putting gun on his head. Hey, Dharam, you have to do this. He chose it, right? I think like every individual has to come forward and need to do that. No one is putting a gun on like Bob's head and say, hey, you have to go to YMC. I want to see you like 4 to 7 there, like running and doing the gym, right? So I think like that's what the meditation is. It's a very interesting thing. Like meditation is not about, okay, so that's a conclusion from my side. Meditation is not sitting in a one place, closing eyes and chanting something. Uh,
You know,
Meditation means all about,
it all ends up coming down to what we all have said is the same thing. Like you said, Dr. Sanjay, it all comes down to the mind. A
yes,
peaceful mind keeps a healthy body, a young body, and that's what gives you a smiling face like Mr. Lal at the moment. That's what it does. Yeah,
You
that's
said
what.
it. You said it.
Yeah.
Inspirational.
Let me talk about one more. When we say the meditation, what I'm learning, since because I'm not too busy nowadays because of the pandemic, my business is slow and I have a plenty of time. I have taken a course, whether you know or you don't know, there's a saint called Sudhanshu Maharaj. I have taken online the classes. So I get the 2 lessons every 15 days, which I have to practice every day.
Kind.
That is the spiritual meditation. Okay. And the way they teach you, first of all, they have some very light music and some mantra chanting. They make you cool down, totally peaceful, your whole body with your closed eyes. And slowly, it has been already 4 months I've been doing. Now we are at the stage of open our chakras. There are 7 chakras, I think everybody knows. If you don't know, next time I will explain you. It goes up to the Kundalini. So that is a spiritual meditation, which is really we should do in this age when we are 80, but looks like 50 or 70, but we must turn our mind, turn our faces to the God, and we must control our desires. Everybody has too many desires. Nowadays, we must cut short the desires, limited and good desires. So because we always say that God will always help them who helps other without any benefit. We don't need any return. If I'm doing some seva, maybe God will return me this gift. No, no, no. Never bring that thing in your mind. Just help the people in any way. Sometimes you just give few nice speech to somebody sick guy and encourage him. It is better than helping him money or something else. And once if he gets very back to normal, he will come back to you and appreciate you, I tell you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I want to go back to Dharam right now. So it's been a very interesting discussion, definitely. So everybody, whatever works for everybody, that's best meditation. So Dharam, I mean, yes, we see that you are very involved with the Kowloon Cricket Club. And since we are having this discussion about 80s and new 50, we are also seeing that at the club there are lots of elders, there are a lot of seniors, and there also you're a lot of youth. And you being the head of communications, and you're also taking care of F&B. How are you bridging the gap between the seniors and the youth?
Veena, you'll be surprised. The gap is not as big as it used to be. And because see, let's go back to maybe my father's generation or one generation even before that. And you notice with the Indian culture, it was very common for us to say, okay, he's got married, shadi ho gayi hai. Now, okay, it's done. So now you let loose, you let go, like we discussed earlier. But actually, no, our prime starts 25, 30, 35. So that mindset has completely changed. We discussed exercise. If we go to the clubs today, if we go to the gyms, you go everywhere, you see so many people 40, 45, 50, they're exercising. I mean, the people in Hong Kong at 50, they look like they're 30 years old. And even myself at 42 right now, with no offense to my previous generations, my father, my uncles, and everybody, it's just it was a different time. It was a different time. They were taught differently. They were running after making money because everyone had to make a life for themselves. I'm lucky my dad gave me a lot, so I had the liberty to get out there and use my time more than just running around for my family. So, but me at 42. I feel like I'm 30, but it was different with my father. So I think everyone at the club today has also, I meet like Uncle Lal himself. If you meet him, you know he's very young at heart. So that gap is not there anymore. You see 30-year-olds sitting with 60-year-olds and they're having drinks, they're discussing, they're talking. It's very open. The gap is reduced a lot from what it used to be.
Right.
But Veena, I want to say something. One of the reasons I did join Colin Cricket, I just go out there to do a little bit more work. Or number one is to keep yourself busy. Number one, and number two is I believe a lot of people. It's very easy for people to complain or to talk or to discuss, but when it comes time to doing something, they will take a back seat. So I've always been a believer that if you have a problem with something, like if I have a problem with something that I don't like with the Olympics, for example, I can't sort that problem out. But let's go simple. If I have a problem with something which I can make a difference to, instead of talking about it, why not get in there and try and make a difference? And I don't take it as a social service only. I don't take it, I'm actually getting a lot out of it. I did not go to university myself, because when I finished my secondary school, my father had a business that just started and he needed help. So I believe my business was an education in itself, you know. But at the same time, today when I'm sitting with the club, a lot of people have asked me, but why are you spending so much time there? I said, because I have the time. And it's an education I'm getting. I'm learning management. I'm learning finances. I'm learning F&B. I did not know, I'm not good at technology, I'll be honest with you. But I'm learning today how to develop an app for a full club. And I've learned how to do it. So, and I'm not good at technology. So there's always something out there for you to do. And how we say about 80 to feel like 50, bottom line, you need to grow, you need to evolve, you need to find something, set new goals. And the biggest thing that I have lived by all my life, okay, I mean, I would say my adult life, is I've seen a lot of people compete with other people. But the trueness is, no matter who you compete with, there's always someone better than that person. So you're always left competing with the wrong people. Again, I'm generalizing. I'm not talking about if you want to be the world's fastest runner or you want to be the world's richest man, there's only one guy to compete with in every. I'm talking about our daily lives. The idea is you should compete with only yourself. Every time you set a goal for yourself and you pass and you're always improving because you have a measure to go against. And that's how you measure yourself. You're improving every day. You're setting yourselves to move forward and you're not setting yourself for failure. But if I set myself against somebody else who's way further above, after him, there's someone again. So it all depends on how it's mind over matter for me. So that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me young. And I believe that's what's going to make a lot of people moving forward happy, smiling, and 80 will be, hopefully in 5 years, 80 will be the new 40, not 50. So
Oh, I'm gonna
Whoa.
get younger.
So we have Mr. Bob who will come at 80 and he'll say, no, I'm 40. I'm 80 is the new 40, not 50. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
sure, sure.
And when Mr. Lal reads 90, he'll say, no, 90 is the new 40. Now you can.
Yeah, that's
Improvement.
right. So I resonate with what Dharam said about competing with yourself, because that's, as long as in business, when people ask me, I said, look, I compete with myself so that I continue to excel what I did in the past. And we're talking about age. So I want to share quickly two seemingly contradictory statements. And they both come from our global guide, spiritual guide. And so it's about the second spiritual guide. So it says about life, two things. Live life as if you'll be dead tomorrow. And the second one is live life as you live forever.
Yes.
So the first one comes from the fact that, don't, if kal karo so aaj kare so ab, don't postpone things. You live, if you owe something to your mom, to your grandmom, to your wife, try to do that today. Don't keep it for tomorrow, because you may not see that tomorrow. But when it comes to learning, you have to continue to learn. Just because you are 40 or 50 or 60 does not give you the prerogative to say, I have learned enough, I don't want to learn anymore. Because learning is a constant process, and change is the universal truth, that only thing that is constant is change. The moment you reject, you don't change, then there is no hope for evolution. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. So it's only change that allows this expansion and growth of the universe. So it's very contradictory, but I think if you look at these two perspectives of life, and I'm not saying I'm good at both of them, I'm trying to work on both of them. But I think that's two different and contradictory perspectives, which we have to balance in an integrated approach for wellness of the heart, mind, body, and soul.
Wonderful. Well said. So I'm just looking at our time and I will definitely hand over the stage to our campaign ambassador, Mr. Lal. Any words to say?
Looking forward to hear you, Lal.
Yes, I've been following Bob. I've been seeing him in YMCA. I've been seeing him in the Colburn Park for a walk, because I also start every morning 7 o'clock. I know we had met a lot of time. Also, Dharam, we have been meeting him in KCC and all. Anytime I call him for something, he's there. He's there for me. So it's pleasure to meet all of you, and also Rajiv. Rajiv, nice meeting you.
Same here.
Bongirkar, right? Did I say correct?
Bongirwar.
Yes. So you are from Maharashtra?
Yes, originally our ancestors from Bongir in Andhra Pradesh, and we are based in now in Maharashtra in Pune.
Maharashtra. Pune. Oh, I'm also Pune. I'm also
Very good.
originally from Pune.
We'll catch up soon,
Yeah, yes.
and hopefully
Of
we'll
course
meet
we will.
soon.
So
Yes.
since Mr. Lal loves to sing and he has been, for his age, 6 months ago he reignited his passion for singing. He trains his voice. He's got a professional trainer. If you are on his YouTube channel, he has a YouTube channel, and he, like the youngsters, tells people to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
So, so
Veena,
yes,
we have two singers today here.
yes, we have two.
So we should not miss the opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Who's the
first
second one? Who's the
Are
competitor?
just here, Bob?
So
You
first,
didn't
we
hear?
are
Yes,
going to
yes,
allow
yes.
Mr. Lal to first start, and
Yes.
then Mr. Bob can continue.
Okay.
Join.
Today is a easy job because I don't have to translate because everybody will understand Hindi songs, right?
Yes.
Okay. So one para, okay, for you. जब कोई बात बिगड़ जाए, जब कोई मुश्किल पड़ जाए, तुम देना साथ मेरा ओ हम नवाज, तुम देना साथ मेरा ओ हम नवाज, न कोई है न कोई था जिंदगी में तुम्हारे सिवा, तुम देना साथ मेरा ओ हम नवाज. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Awesome. So,
Very good.
Mr.
Thank
Bob,
you very much.
how about something from you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a good singer. I sing only nice bhajans only.
Doesn't
Then,
matter.
Bhajan is fine. Yes. Bhajan.
चरण में आ पड़ा तेरी प्रभु मुझको भुलाना ना, शरण में आ पड़ा तेरी प्रभु मुझको भुलाना ना, पकड़ लो हाथ अब मेरा, नाथ देरी लगाना ना, शरण में आ पड़ा तेरी. दादा एक लाइन सिर्फ गाऊंगा, बहुत अच्छी है. इट्स फॉर एवरीवन. काल की है नदी भारी, बहा जाता हूँ धारा में. काल की है नदी भारी, बहा जाता हूँ धारा में, बहा जाता हूँ धारा में. पकड़ लो हाथ अब मेरा, पकड़ लो हाथ अब मेरा, नाथ देरी लगाना ना, शरण में आ पड़ा तेरी. Thank
Very
you.
nice. Very nice,
Thank
Bhajan.
you.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. That was
Thank you.
beautiful. I hope everyone had a wonderful discussion. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's
Yes.
inspiring. Thank you for inspiring. Thank you for being inspired. And please continue to join our panel discussions. Share it with your family, friends. We are having it every Thursday. We invite speakers from all around the world to inspire, lead, and share their stories. And they're not just Indians, they're from all different backgrounds. We are going to soon have experts in various different areas as well. So do tune in, do like, share, and subscribe to Live Life Naveda Way, and also like, share, and subscribe Mr. Lal Daryanal, who
Yes.
sings every
Yeah.
Friday.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody.
Very good.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure being on the panel. And thank you, everyone,
Pleasure.
for joining and watching
Bye-bye.
us.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
meeting you all.
Bye-bye.